Hi, it's Gab, and I'm reviewing Django Unchained. The D is silent, the new Quentin Tarantino film. Obviously, big anticipation over any new Quentin Tarantino film. This one is getting lots of great advance buzz. Jamie Foxx, Christoph Waltz of course, from Glorious Bastards. Leonardo DiCaprio as the main baddie. The story is late 1800s, right before the Civil War. Slavery abounds, obviously, and Django is a slave who gets freed by the bounty hunter, played by Christoph Waltz, in order to help him track down some bad guys that only Django can identify. And in return, what Django wants, obviously he wants his freedom, he gets it, but he wants to find and free his wife, who is still enslaved by Leonardo DiCaprio's character, plantation owner, very colorful bad guy that he is, and other bad guys along the way, of course. Samuel L. Jackson's in there, Don Johnson, hey Don Johnson, long time no see, and so obviously great cast, invigorating story, an original story, interesting. You're going to get your touches of blaxploitation and vengeance, and obviously it's a western at heart as well. A lot of gunslinging, and so you've got all these ingredients under the Quentin Tarantino banner. So it's a pretty heady recipe for a fun time at the cinema, and it definitely delivers. I mean, as I say, you've got the Tarantino hallmarks of an awesome soundtrack that always just captures a scene and elevates it in a delicious way. The very fun retro kinds of shooting styles, and of course the witty banter, the dialogue, the set pieces that are clever and funny. You've got a whole mix of tones, obviously, again, Tarantino hallmark style. You've got the comedy in there, but you've got the extreme violence, almost satirical violence, and this because they're dealing with the slavery, and our protagonist Django, having suffered and suffering and been through what he's been through, and the historical weight that he personifies. You've got that weightiness there as well, that historical weight. In some ways, like Inglourious Bastards, where it's fictitious, but you've got that framework, the background of the historical context, which gives the story poignancy and weight, and the vengeance aspect of it. It really gets you into it as an audience member, certainly. So there's those scenes where you just shout out, whoa, and you're cheering, and you're feeling great catharsis with a lot of the stuff that's going on. So that's all there, and really, really enjoyable stuff. The performances are great. I liked Jamie Foxx, although for me he's not the star. Christoph Waltz is the star of this movie. He's my new boyfriend. I want to marry him. He's just awesome. His line delivery is just delicious. He's one of these actors that you could say he could read the phone book and you'd be enthralled. Just loved his line delivery and his presence on screen. They have a great chemistry together. It's almost like a buddy road movie in some respects, and they make a great odd couple. But for me, he electrified the scene, and his character, in some ways, to me, his character is more the hero of the story than even the titular Django is. Leonardo DiCaprio is fun as the bad guy. We don't really ever see DiCaprio as a bad guy, and this is a caricature, this is a cartoon villain, with the cigarette and the mustache and all of that, and he certainly chews it and enjoys it. I could have thought he maybe could have taken it even a little bit farther, but give him props for a little bit of restraint with such a colorful character, and of course the rest of the cast just rounds it out really, really nicely. My detractions, I would have to say, and I say this usually about Quentin Tarantino, I say this almost about every movie, is that it was a bit too long. Not that it dragged, but I think that I find Tarantino is a bit too self-indulgent with his, usually I feel that he's too self-indulgent with his clever, just a bit too much dialogue, a bit too many many self-aware dialogue pieces, and I didn't find that so much here. The dialogue was actually had some restraint in its uber cleverness. I felt that this story had a chapter or two too many. It's actually quite a simple story, and I almost was expecting or wanting a bit more of a complex story with a bit more layers and twists, again like in Inglourious Basterds of Pulp Fiction, what we've seen from him before. It was actually quite basic, and that's okay, but for a basic story I think that he really could have reined in some of the narrative, drawn that a little bit tighter, and it would have probably served this better. So that's the only thing that I can really say that detracts, but it did detract for me. So overall, extremely entertaining, and it's got everything you're going to want. Uber violent, just a warning, but I don't think you need that kind of warning this time around. And it's gonna be fun. If you like, you know what you're in for, then you're gonna like what you're in for. So I'm waffling between 4 and 4.25 Gabs. I think at the end of the day, it's probably my second favorite Tarantino film after Inglourious Basterds, so I'll give it 4 Gabs out of 5 no silent D's. It's all 4 G's. Thanks for watching.